Hey, how you doing, everybody? Very good to be with you today. It's me, James O'Reilly, in association with LAK Formación, tailor-made solutions for your business. I hope you're all doing very well today. As you can see, lakformacion.com. Get over to the website and check it out. Okay, so it's a very strange week last week. My God. So let me get over here. So many days off. I didn't know what to do. I'm stuck with the kids, but we made it through and we're back to Monday, and then before we know it, it's gonna be the holidays. So good to be with you. Another thing I want to point out today is I'm here to help you with your listening English, your pronunciation, your vocabulary, everything related to English. I'm here to help you. And another thing I want to do is I want to get you guys involved in the conversation as well, okay? So I am putting up on the screen a telephone number. This is the business telephone number for the stream, and you can contact me here when I'm asking you how you feel about something. If you want to connect, if you want to ask a question, if you want to just say hello, put your name on, ask a question, get involved. We're here to be interactive. I want this to be enjoyable. Different things to talk about today. We're going to start off now by looking at the news over. Where am I today? Okay, I'm over here. I want to look at what happened while we were sleeping. So let's have a look there. We're going to jump into that. Then we're going to be looking at buzzwords of the year 2022. We're going to look at a question of mentioning your strength or weakness, how you should approach it. We're going to focus on mentioning a weakness, and we're going to watch a video. So stay tuned for that. Word of the day, phrasal verb of the day, idiom of the day. We're going to look at those. We're going to do some translation from a Spanish newspaper in English that you can find, and we'll be looking at other things as well. Okay, so I'll be trying to get to your questions towards the end if you have any questions. Remember, you can also join me over across on YouTube if you prefer to go there. Give me a like, make a comment, get involved. And we're going to start with our news from last night while we were sleeping. Just quick run on the news. And before I start, I got very big thanks to you guys for all connecting with me this year. I'm very pleased that you have, and I hope I can help you guys with LAK Formación improve your English and on into 2023. Let's go. Capsule, Orion, Peru, Jersey, and Eurovision Junior, the news of the night. Okay. I'm going to double check and make sure my photo is not covering the screen here. I'm going to minimize myself here. Give me a second. Here we go. I'm going to just get down there, make myself a bit smaller for you guys. Okay, lunar mission. The Orion capsule back on Earth. It was a historic dive, said the Atlantic newspaper, after its long and solitary journey around the moon. The Orion capsule landed undamaged off the Mexican coast on Sunday. This return to fanfare crowns the success of Artemis 1, NASA's new lunar mission. The capsule entered the Earth's atmosphere at a speed of 40,000 kilometers per hour and was slowed down in its descent by the successive deployments of 11 parachutes. The speed of the racing car had been reduced to around 30 kilometers when it entered the water. Rescued by an American warship, the capsule will return to dry land in San Diego. Orion is expected to carry astronauts around the moon in 2024 before landing there in 2025 at the earliest. So, okay, a new kind of mission, this Artemis 1 by NASA. I suppose they're going to be looking what they can get from the moon in terms of minerals and so on in the future. Not much there except for what's inside, I suppose. That's my opinion. Let me know your opinion. In Peru, 2 dead in demonstrations against power. It's a right mess in Peru at the moment. Crazy things going on there. Demonstrations intensified across Peru on Sunday following the failed coup and the arrest of ex-president Pedro Castillo this week, reports La Repubblica. The demonstrators demand the closure of Congress, which Peruvians hate. They loathe, let me highlight this word, to loathe is to hate. After months of parliamentary guerrilla warfare against Castillo, that is, the opposition party was really trying to get a vote of no confidence. They were trying to impeach him, get rid of him many times. I think they tried 3 times. The resignation of the president, Dina Boluarte, former vice president of the ousted representative. Ousted means kind of kicked out. And holding of early general elections. I would have thought that that's the best thing, to have general elections. That is what everybody wants. But the people are not happy. In Andahuaylas, 750 kilometers south of Lima, the repression carried out by the security forces left 2 people dead, unfortunately, and several injured, according to the left-wing daily. So La Repubblica is a left-wing newspaper. The protests were held mainly in the country's provinces, but also in Lima, where some 2,000 people protested outside Congress, calling the deputies corrupt rats. Right. Okay. Yes, it's all interesting and all change in Peru. Hopefully we will get a peaceful result there. Explosion in Jersey, at least 5 people are dead. Jersey is an island near France, but it is owned by the UK. It was known before as a kind of like what Andorra would be here, as a fiscal paradise. The gas explosion that destroyed a residential building in St. Helier on the island of Jersey on Saturday morning killed at least 5 people. Authorities believe 4 people are still under the rubble. The rubble is when a building collapses and it's all a mess. We call this the rubble. Kind of like masonry and stones and so on. That's reported by The Independent. Rescuers no longer hope to find survivors, and searches are now limited to locating the remains of the last victims. Firefighters rushed to the scene Friday night after several residents reported a strong smell of gas. Okay, unfortunate news there again. Let's get on some good news, shall we? Frenchman Lisandro wins Junior Eurovision. The Frenchman Lisandro, 13, won the 20th edition of Eurovision Junior. I never even knew there was a Eurovision Junior in Yerevan on Sunday. Yerevan, I believe, is in Armenia, with his title, Oh Mom, reports the BBC, with 203 points. The teenager ranked ahead of Armenia, Georgia and Ireland. Long Live France launched the young singer as at the announcement of his victory. His rock-inspired song was co-written by Barbara Pravi, who came second in the Eurovision in 2021 with Voila. France had won the competition for the first time in 2020 with Valentina. Okay, so at least we ended on a bit of good news, thank goodness. And we saw some words there, ousted. We'll be looking at more vocabulary as we go through. Let's have a look. I wanted to open this. Yes, this is some business news from LinkedIn, where I'm streaming on LinkedIn and on YouTube. So later as well, you'll be able to see the subtitles on YouTube. And again, if you want to send any messages, if you want to get involved in the live chat, you can go over there by clicking on the link below my earlier post. I'll bring you over. Okay, trade. EU trade deal with Chile to boost the bloc's mineral imports. To boost is to support, to give it a good old push. The EU has struck a trade deal with Chile, making it easier for the bloc to import minerals such as lithium and decreasing its reliance on China, really making China into the enemy. The agreement could boost EU goods exports to the South American country by 4.5 billion per year, and is the first EU deal to include a chapter on gender equality. All right, I don't know what that involves exactly, but I don't know, gender equality, I suppose it's a good thing. Why not? Good stuff. Global competitiveness. Swiss economy world's best in attracting and keeping talent. Switzerland tops the list of economies when it comes to attracting and retaining talent in Business School IMD's annual, which means every year, World Talent Ranking. The country was praised for a strong system of apprenticeships and its ability to get highly skilled foreign staff. Sweden, Iceland, Norway and Denmark complete the top 5. Don't they all have very strong currencies and don't they all pay a lot of money? So that would be my feeling for the best in attracting would be the money and keeping would be the money. Okay. On to the next one. Well-being. These elements may be key to a fulfilled life. Okay, tell me more. Being equipped with a certain psychological and social resources like self-confidence and support, as well as personal characteristics such as curiosity and having a good quality of life, are seen as key to feeling fulfilled, right? That's according to a study which named occupation and relationships as other sources of fulfillment. Yeah, I definitely think if you have interest, if you have a hobby, if you find your work and your life interesting, it's definitely going to be healthy for you. Obviously, a quality of life enables you to eat well. That's going to keep you healthy. That's going to give you access to good health care. What else? Support. I wonder what that means, like work support or family support. Occupation and relationships as others. Okay. Yeah, I think the key to happiness and all this kind of thing is to be content and just to be like pretty much, okay, I'm happy with what I have, and therefore you just have to try your best to avoid any random illnesses and you'll be okay. Idea of the day. Why leaders should be mindful of their words. Managers who are aware of their position and adapt their communication accordingly can play an important role in helping improve the mental health of staff, says Anna Bertoldini. Meeting anxiety is real, especially in today's environment. There's a lot of uncertainty, and even a small detail like adding good thing to a meeting invite can make all the difference. I don't know, I'm not sure if I understand that really. Meeting anxiety, right? So, okay, going to meetings makes people anxious. Okay. I get anxious before coming online, especially in today's environment. There's a lot of uncertainty, and even a small detail like adding good thing to a meeting invite can make all the difference. And I really don't know what that means. If I'm sending an email invite and I write somehow good thing, adding a small okay. Well, I suppose what we need to do is when we're talking about meetings, we do need to be aware, consciente, aware that, you know, some people don't like to maybe show their face on screen. They're a bit shy. People are more, have anxiety. We need to be aware of this. And you want to try and make them feel like when you come to the meeting, we want you in the meeting. We're happy to see you. We hope you get involved. And I have classes in English, and I hope that I can make people feel happy to come to the class. And I need to be aware of this, actually. I suppose I have different people they may not want to show their face, or they might find it difficult to interact. Okay, good stuff. Still don't know what that means, but moving on. Today's debate: what's the best way to remedy poor communication? Before we continue, no, I'm going to finish this and then I'll ask my question. You guys can tell me. Today's debate: what's the best way to remedy poor communication? Rachel Botsman says, I was teaching a trust masterclass and someone asked, why do we tend to swing to oversharing when we receive feedback on poor communications? It's easy to see why the response to we want better communications is I'll communicate more. Sharing more information equals more trust, but can be easily create overload. Okay, so what's the best way to remedy poor communication? Well, guys, I'm going to leave that to you. You can let me know in the comments. How can you improve communication within your work? Does it necessarily mean communicating more or more effectively? Effective communication. Here's a poll of the week. Work 5 days remotely or a 4-day week in the office? Ooh. So everybody wants to work remote, but when it comes to working at home for 4 days, working remote, 42% would go for this, and 58% would prefer to go to the office and work 4 days a week. Interesting choice. Okay, so really people really do want to work for only 4 days a week. Get all their work done and leave them with more time to more time to do whatever. What do you want to do? Do you want to work on a side hustle? Do you want to work on a hobby? Do you want to do more training for your work? Do you want to improve yourself on that extra day? I listened recently, and I mentioned this previously, I listened to a podcast from the Financial Times. And you can check that out. You can download the Financial Times application and you can listen to their podcasts for free. So I recommend that. I listened again last night. But that one, they did a whole series about people working 4-day weeks, what they got done, how the company felt, was it a success? Overall, it seems to be something that is successful. Some bumps in the road, but overall, successful. What would you do if you only worked 4 days a week? What would you do on that extra day? Would you improve yourself? Would you do a side hobby? Or would you just take a break? Let me know. And what I'm going to do is I've brought up the WhatsApp number for you to get in contact with me. Whatever you want to say. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit here. Let's click and... No, 1 second. There we go. That's better. Okay, so let me know what you think. And now we'll move on to... I definitely want to move on to my words of the day. I like this one. Words of the day. See, my word of the day, thank you to Elena this morning in my class. We were talking about just saying hello, and let me get your attention better here. We were talking about just saying hello and how normal it is. I live in Spain, obviously, and I swear to God, anytime someone says to me, "Hola James, ¿qué tal?" or whatever they say, I always say bien, ¿y tú? Whatever. It's boring. And it's the same in English. It's boring because I know in Spanish you guys say lots of different things, and I want to say lots of different things because in English I say lots of different things. So we were talking about the translation this morning for tirando. It's like quite a common thing, tirando. And it's quite common in English to say this as well, just working, just getting by. Just getting by You know, got the kids, work, life in general, you know, getting by. Also, you can use getting by for when you talk about English, you know, me apaño, I get by. So getting by is like, just working, often just working, if you're actually in the workplace. So try and say something like this, for example. I'm going to try, and I get the feeling of, tirando. I understand it. And I think in English you can use the same, and you can try and use something new that you've learned for the next week or so. Just keep saying that. I mean, you've been saying fine, thank you, and you've been saying that for years. So you can use something new like, yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad, thanks. Actually, it's not negative in English to say not bad, thanks. Not too bad, thanks. It's actually a positive thing in English. A lot of people don't believe it, but it is positive. So you can say not bad, thanks, or you can say, just working, when you're at work, just working. That's tirando. Try to do that. Why not? Make it your kind of goal. And if you can give me any more tips as well in Spanish, what I can use, I'm going to use them. But I have said to myself, I'm not going to say bien. I'm going to say two things. I'm going to say tirando, or voy tirando. I'm going to use that one, or I'm going to use, what's the other one I want to use? Estupendamente. That's what I'm going to use. Even though, just to get used to it, to have it in my vocabulary. So you can say great, just working, or, just getting by. Use something different. Why not? All right, let's jump across over to our words of the day. There we go. And maybe you can use one of these. Sorry for all the pop-ups. This is from the United States, and it is a very common expression, this idiom. Keep up with the Joneses, right? This is a very normal thing, okay? People who try to keep up with the Joneses are people who feel it's important to show that they are as successful as others, such as their rich neighbors, the Joneses. What this means, yes, is exactly that. It is you are trying to keep up, which means stay at the same level. You're trying to stay at the same level as people. When your rich neighbors or your neighbors, let's call them the Joneses, or let's call them the Sanchez's or Los Sanchez, if they are the rich neighbors and then they get they get an electric car. Now I have to get an electric car. They get new, really good windows. Now I have to get good windows. This is you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it's a very normal, common expression in English. I suppose it's a form of status anxiety. Excuse me. It's status anxiety. You feel the pressure from society. It's like when you go to the school with your kids, the other cars, the clothes people are wearing. You feel this need to keep up with the Joneses. And unfortunately, at this time of year, especially around Christmas time, some people feel they need to spend a lot of money on presents and the type of presents their kids are going to get. And I was making the comment before that often it's people who don't have a lot of money who feel more pressure. So unfortunately, in my experience anyway, in the North, in the UK and Ireland, that's the way it was. So let's look at some examples. I'm surprised that Miriam worries about keeping up with the Joneses. I thought she was more mature than that. My grandma said, forget about keeping up with the Joneses. The people who matter in your life will respect and love you because of who you are, not because of what you've got or what sort of car you drive. Okay, very common expression in English. Let me know if you can in the chat on YouTube or on WhatsApp what the expression is in Spanish, because I don't know and I would love to know. Phrasal verb of the day. jump up. If you jump up, you stand up quickly. Okay, let's see it in context. We were all sitting on the ground having a chat when Sam jumped up and started hopping around on one leg. An ant had bitten him on the toe. Okay. When the phone rang, I jumped up to answer it, but I suddenly felt dizzy as the blood ran from my head. Oh yeah, we call that a head rush. You know when you sit up very quickly or you stand up very quickly and you get that dizzy feeling? I call that a head rush. Dizzy is mareo or mareado. That's dizzy. But this head rush is what I call that, when the blood rushes down. Yes, to jump up is to get up quickly. I jumped up out of my seat to answer the door. Yes, we use that, to jump up. It just means to get up quickly out of your sitting position. What should we look at? Let's go slang last. Saying of the day. A good man is hard to find. It's really strange. I don't know why I was thinking of a song. A good heart is hard to find. A good man is hard to find. What is the interpretation? The saying talks about the difficulties for women in finding a suitable male partner. This is so bizarre because I actually have something for you in relation to this. If you stay with me, it's a woman. She did a PowerPoint presentation on her dates. I'm going to show you this a bit later, and it's exactly this. A good man is hard to find. I'll show you the video shortly. Good for your listening as well. A good man, yeah, I suppose a good woman, a good man is hard to find. Gotta lower your expectations, you know. Everybody's too demanding. Slang of the day. Okay, so this could be right. We have one chili and yob or a yobo. Yes, this is common. An aggressive, impolite or crude person. Be careful if you go to a pub on Friday or Saturday night. The yobs will be out and lots of them will be looking for a fight. Yes, that's true. It's certain types of people in the UK, for example. It's a certain kind of character who's aggressive and rude. They want to pick on people and fight people. Often call these type of people, if you imagine them at a football match, kind of like hooligans in a sense, but in football matches and in the crowd they're hooligans, but in general life they're yobs. Lots of yobos travel to places like Spain and Greece and get drunk, behave badly and damage the image of Britain and the British. And this is true. A lot of people do believe that the holiday destinations for these yobs in the summertime is Spain, Greece, Turkey, these package holidays, and they go to certain places in these countries and they behave badly pretty much. Yeah, you know, we all know what they look like. Yobs. And it is used and it's British. And in the States, they might say trash. That was our slang, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, brilliant. What I want to do is I want to now move over. We're going to look at some translation here, or not exactly translation. We're going to look at a newspaper that exists in your country and is in English. It doesn't matter if you politically agree with it or not, because you don't have to read the politics. All you're looking at is reading something quickly in English every day, something short, something sweet, and you get a bit of vocabulary. I'm here to help you a few days every week with this, so you sit back, relax, and I will help you. We're in the economy and business section of El País in English, following the FTX bankruptcy, Banco Roto, I believe. An expert liquidator has been searching for all the missing money. And that's the heading. And then we move to the subheading. John Ray the third, the legendary attorney. An attorney is a lawyer. or a solicitor in the UK who oversaw the liquidation of Enron is trying to track down the lost cryptocurrency investments of more than 1 million people. So I was listening, yes, as I said yesterday, to the Financial Times podcast. Don't get me wrong, this is not a difficult podcast to listen to. They're quite enjoyable, actually. Even as an English speaker, a lot of people can feel intimidated by the Financial Times, but really nowadays the Economist, the Financial Times, they're really trying to make their content really more accessible, more enjoyable. So even for you guys, you can listen, practice your listening, along with me, of course, and it's very useful. Now, what I want to say here is if we zoom in, already in this subheading here, we have plenty of things, and this is what I'm trying to point out. We have attorney, which is lawyer, abogado. We have oversaw, the verb to oversee. This is the person who is managing an operation. If you are the person managing a project, you are the person who oversees the project. Okay, and this is in the past tense. The attorney who oversaw the liquidation of Enron is trying to track down, which means phrasal verb, to track down, again, to find. Normally we use it when we talk about the police or detectives. To track down is to look for, to search for, to find. Is trying to find the lost cryptocurrency investments of more than 1 million people. Okay, so in these headings and subheadings, we don't need to go into detail in these. We just need to look at the headings. I looked at this the other day. I'm going to go out. That was economy and business. Let's have a look at the main page. And here we have Peru's new president declares state of emergency in the south and proposes early elections. At least 2 people are dead. We saw this, 30 injured. Clashes. Clashes are enfrentamientos. Clashes. People clash, okay? When you're talking about people and they kind of disagree, you might have a clash of ideas in a meeting when you're trying to decide on a project. You'll put it with an L. People clash. When we're talking about vehicles, you'll put an R, and it will be crash. A car and a truck crashed. That's the easiest way I can make it for you. Let's move over here to Ron DeSantis, Trump's worst nightmare is the title. And then the subtitle is the governor of Florida, recently re-elected by a landslide, is looking to take over the Republican Party, but can he play at the national level? I'm hearing things about this Ron DeSantis. I don't follow American politics too closely. I'm kind of aware, but I find it overwhelming, just too much. Elections all over the place. But this guy seems like a legitimate leader for the Republicans. And without knowing too much, I would say he will be their candidate ahead of Trump. That's my guess. You're free to let me know what you think. Over here, we had this band in the 90s called the Backstreet Boys. You guys, I'm sure, have heard. Aaron Carter of the Backstreet Boys accused of raping autistic teen in 2001. So this year here, we say 2001, 2002, 2003, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. I almost got lost there. Okay, so after 2009, we'll change to 20. In 2017, another alleged victim, musician Melissa Schumann, said the singer sexually assaulted her. Uh-oh. Well, if he's guilty, I hope he gets punished. Sad to see. It's funny because we see these boy bands and we like to think that they are squeaky clean. Squeaky clean comes from the expression of when you're cleaning your dishes, your vajillas, your dishes, and you get that squeak at the end, like which really means it's clean. We use this to talk about people's characters, squeaky clean character. And I think we often like to think that these boy bands and so on are squeaky clean. But remember, they have girls throwing themselves at them. They're young people, and who knows? We'll see. China celebrates end of zero COVID policy amid concerns over rising infections. Well, we have the situation in China of the government in a difficult situation because the people now in China are sick and tired of being confined to their homes, and they are protesting now. And I think the government is getting worried. So they are ending the zero COVID policy. It was never going to work anyway. How can you possibly have zero COVID, especially in China? Don't care about the Republicans. I don't really want to look up politics too much. It's Peru politics again. Science, tech and health. Wrong door syndrome complicates treatment of dual disorder patients. Obstacles abound for people with mental health conditions as well as addictions. Wrong door syndrome complicates treatment. Okay, this could be where an expression used for when the medical experts believe that somebody has a certain health condition, mental health condition, but in fact it's something else. So they believe that they've gone through the wrong door. Obstacles abound. When something abounds, is there's a lot. Obstacles abound for people with mental health conditions as well as addictions. Quick ones down here. G.H. Hardy, remembering Britain's eccentric and brilliant mathematician. Eccentric is somebody who is kind of cleverly crazy, a bit bizarre, a bit strange, but in a good way. A bit wacky. No subheading. Apple's promises. Be careful when you see this because it's very common for my students when they see this to make the same mistake I did a second ago and say Apple's promise of privacy. Remember, this ES is the plural. Promises. You have to say promises. Are iPhones as secure as the company claims? Don't know. Yeah, I suppose the idea of selling that, we're going to give you lots of privacy, but at the same time selling your data. Are you surprised? Anders Sandberg, we are at the start of history. We have a responsibility not to mess things up. To mess things up, a good expression. It's like, don't mess it up. I don't want to mess things up. When you're talking in a business sense, is you don't want to get things wrong completely. Over to world's oldest known DNA reveals a once lush paradise in the Arctic. Lush is when we imagine flowers and grass, and like in this picture. Let's just give you an idea by looking at the picture. Right, so if you can imagine the way the Arctic looks now, all snow, the Antarctic, barren is completely empty of anything, and here we have lush, trees with leaves, flowers, the water, it's lush and green. So that's what the word lush means. Okay, good stuff. So what you can do is just remember that the what's this one? Meet the women who will decide the next James Bond. Okay. Where are we? I'm lost now. Okay. There it is. Italy's rich color is getting new admirers thanks to a group of women. Okay, no idea what that is, but there are the present and former James Bonds. And the last one I'm going to look at was, where was it? Who will win the Qatar World Cup? Predict the winner with the simulator. Okay. Let's have a look and see if we can predict the winner. What do we do? As Brazil? Okay. Do we do anything? Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw something where there was one of the universities who did a simulator, and they did okay. They got pretty much 2 semi-finalists right. They got Argentina right, and they got France right. But yeah, you never know. What do you think about the England losing the other day? I listened on the radio because I didn't have the satellite, but from what I could hear and listening to the commentary from Spanish radio, it sounded to me like the English team was on top, in control, but France, goals win games, and that's the end of it. Let's see what happens. I'm quite happy for any team to win at the moment, to be honest. I'll be happy for Morocco to win for, the magic of the tournament, imagine, because just for a smaller nation, a smaller football nation to win, it would be just, it would be exciting, it'd be good. I think for France to win, it's kind of like they deserve it. They've got great players. Argentina would be exciting as well. It's kind of like when I was young, it was the Maradona, it was the magic of Argentina and so on. And with Messi, arguably the best player in the world, it would be fantastic. Can you deserve to win a World Cup? Let me know who deserves to win. Messi, and who else is there? Argentina, France, Morocco, and Croatia. Croatia deserve it as well. They were in the final against France, and they're a good team. So I'm happy for anyone to win. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Croatia. I think they're a smaller country and they deserve to win. And after Croatia, I'll go for Morocco because it'd be just magical. And I'm going there early next year. No, I don't know when exactly, but I'm going so I can jump on the bandwagon. To jump on the bandwagon is kind of like when everybody's doing something, you just jump on. It'd be just magical, After that, I'd rather Argentina, and then after that, France. I like all the countries. They're all nice. Okay. So let me close this down. And then what we're going to do finally is we are going to look now at the... no, it's not finally, but the penultimate thing. We're going to look at a way to answer. We're going to listen to a video. And I want you to listen to this video. And it's about a way how to answer what your weakness is in a job interview. And a lot of people answer in a certain way. But I want you to listen to something and see if you notice something about the woman talking. She gives a very good explanation. But there's something that confused me when she was talking. And I want to see if you guys notice. So we're going to jump over to that now. I'll just make sure that my... yes, I got to make sure we're on the right screen. If I jump over now, yes, there we are. And I'll get rid of this. So yeah, it's not in your way. Let's go. I'm wasting too much time here. Okay. So just make sure you have it there. Okay. Listen carefully. We're going to listen to this lady, and she's talking about how to answer what is your greatest weakness. Okay, so when you're doing a job interview, very, very common question. If you get over, we're going to have this on Elica Formación in the YouTube channel, how to answer this question as well. But I want you to listen and listen to her expert advice and see what you think. Listen out for some grammar.
What is your greatest weakness? This is one of the most common and a very tricky interview question. And here's why. You don't want to give away too much information that will prevent you from getting this job, but you also don't want to sound somewhat dishonest. So there's a little trick that I learned and I use it during my interviews, which I also want to share with you. But first, let's talk about one of the most common mistakes that people make, is that they say something like, I am too detail oriented, I take too much responsibilities, I am a perfectionist. And the thing is, the people in front of you, they're usually very smart people. They interview thousands of candidates per year, and they know exactly what you're doing. You're trying to present your strengths as a weakness. And there's nothing more off-putting than trying to do something like that. So what you really need to do is to be honest and write down the real weaknesses that you have for yourself, and then pick the one that is not essential for the job that you're applying for. Let's say if you're applying for a project manager role, you can say that my weakness is project management. Or if you're applying for a role of nanny, you can say, hey, I actually have one little weakness, is that I don't like kids. So it should be not an essential, not the most important part of the job that you're applying for. After you mention a real, honest weakness, don't focus on the weakness itself for too long. Rather, talk about the examples of how you worked to improve upon this weakness, or how you got new skills to combat the issue. This way you will give a genuine answer to an interview question without using any dirty tricks, and it will be additional points for you in the evaluation of your honesty, self-awareness, and problem solving. Best of luck.
Okay, great stuff. So that's it. I mean, I think it's a good tip. I like it. Be honest, but don't focus on it too much. But one thing I want to draw your attention to as well is, and I think this is very important, I'm going to take my headphones off. Yeah, it's very important, obviously, for, let me get over here. Very important for you guys. Just a simple pronunciation thing that the lady in the video, apart from her great advice, was when she was saying, you can say, and to me, what she wanted to say was, you can't say, if you want to take care of kids, you can't say, I don't like kids. And if you want to be a project manager, you can't say, I don't like project management. But her pronunciation of the word can't, she didn't make the T noticeable. So I think even in the subtitles, it was picked up as you can. But when I was listening, I really was confused because I wasn't following the subtitles, and I was listening, and I was like, I thought she was giving advice, but she's like, so if you don't like project management, you can say you don't like project management. And I couldn't hear the T, so I thought she was telling me, yeah, you can. So in English, it is quite common to for people to not, you know what you're saying in your head, but you really need to finish those last letters, because often that's the most important part, because can, can't. And for can and can't, I like people to get into their minds that the can is a bit more soft, and the can't is almost like it begins with a K and ends with a T. It's a bit more powerful. So that way you mentally can get a picture of that it's kind of different, and you will pronounce that T at the end, because just from dropping a T at the end, I completely misunderstood what this person was talking about. I had to go back and find out what she meant. But anyway, it is good advice, and we'll take it on board. That's just something I wanted to raise with you. And now moving over to something, where is it? We'll go over here. I want to go over now, and I was talking to you earlier about the woman who did the presentation of the single woman makes a PowerPoint. Single woman makes brutally honest PowerPoint presentation of her dating fails in 2022, and it's been dubbed iconic by millions. Okay, so we were talking about a good man is hard to find. This is from the Daily Mail. It's just a female. You get a lot of, in this female section of the Daily Mail, you get a lot of kind of like sensational stuff, but fantastic for your vocabulary. Trust me, fantastic. And you get some easy videos to watch. Just watch a few short videos. That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to get my headphones on and see if you can follow what she is. She's going to talk quickly. I don't know why I'm getting these ads for these jackets, but I found out from a friend in the UK, he's getting the same ads, so I don't feel so bad. Okay, let's go on down. This woman had many dates with different men, and she makes a PowerPoint presentation. Let's have a look. I'm going to make it bigger if I can.
Welcome to my 2022 dating wrapped. If there's one thing about me, I love a PowerPoint and apparently a first date because I went on 18 this year. Where did I meet these men? I met one in the wild. We kissed at a bar on New Year's Eve and things really went downhill from there. Tinder and Hinge split pretty evenly. One from Facebook dating. I 1000% would not recommend that. I would rather ask my father to buy me lingerie than to get back on Facebook dating. How many dates did we go on? Most of these men only made it 1 or 2. Very few made it past to the 3rd date, and the high score was 6 dates. What did we do? A lot of dinner, drinks, walks. This other category includes smoothies, ice cream, acai bowls, and Target. Who ended things? Me, about half of the time. A few times mutual, and sometimes him. I cried over 2 of these men, which coincidentally is the same number of parking tickets I got while on dates. This is the amount of money I spent on dates. I wish I had not calculated this number. What could I have done with this money? Literally anything else would have been better. Have I learned anything here? Probably not. The end. So welcome to my 2022 dating wrapped. If there's one thing about me, I love a power.
Okay, I know that was very quick. That was very quick. She says dating wrapped. Okay, that means like a wrap up. When you finish a meeting, you wrap it up. So dating wrapped. She's just wrapping up her dating experiences of 2022. Listen again. It's very, very quick. She's obviously under pressure to have this less than a minute. Her accent is from the States. So let me turn up the volume on this and I'm going to play it again. Maybe the volume was a bit low. Let me see. I've just got a notification. Let's go. Let's have a look again. Let's move it back.
To my 2022 dating wrapped. If there's one thing about me, I love a PowerPoint and apparently a first date because I went on 18 this year. Where did I meet these men? I met one in the wild. We kissed at a bar on New Year's Eve and things really went downhill from there. Tinder and Hinge split pretty evenly. One from Facebook dating. I 1000% would not recommend that. I would rather ask my father to buy me lingerie than to get back on Facebook dating. How many dates did we go on? Most of these men only made it 1 or 2. Very few made it past to the 3rd date, and the high score was 6 dates. What did we do? A lot of dinner, drinks, walks. This other category includes smoothies, ice cream, acai bowls, and Target. Who ended things? Me, about half of the time. A few times mutual, and sometimes him. I cried over 2 of these men, which coincidentally is the same number of parking tickets I got while on dates. This is the amount of money I spent on dates. I wish I had not calculated this number. What could I have done with this money? Literally anything else would have been better. Have I learned anything here? Probably not. The end.
Okay, brilliant stuff. It's kind of funny as well. Like it's light. We say light-hearted. She's making a joke out of her experiences on dates. Cheers, David, for that. Letting me know if you guys ever have any situations, volume, and I'm on the wrong screen or something. Just hit me up on the WhatsApp number as well. And you can get involved in the conversation. I want to get you guys involved in the conversation. You can contact me, let me know, making a bit more interesting for you guys as well. I can answer your questions and so on. We're coming up to the end of the year, so if you're new to this channel, I'm here to help you guys with all things English. Make sure you are staying with me. I'm going to be on a couple to a few times a week. and I'm just going to be helping you with your listening English, pronunciation, vocabulary, all things English, in association with LK formation. I don't know if I should say it in Spanish or I should say it in English, but in Spanish, I suppose, LK formación, because the vast majority of you are from here. That's who I'm working with, and jump on over to the website. And remember, I'm just here to help you with your English, listening and so on. Also, if it is a bit difficult to understand sometimes, you can get over onto YouTube and you should be able to then later get the subtitles. I hope this has been good for you. I hope it helps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see you guys in the next couple of days. Keep your eyes out for the notifications on LinkedIn. I'll be advertising when I'm going to be on. And once again, thank you for the new people for connecting with me. For anybody watching, thank you so much. And I will see you guys in a couple of days. All the best. Have a good one. Bye bye.